Hello everyone. Yesterday I was bored during the night and I was rewatching the finals of Worlds 2012 between two great Japanese players, Hyuya and Shota. It's like one of the most iconic matches in Magic. Not only that it's like the best two Japanese players ever playing in the finals, but also the matchup was like very interesting and great fun to watch. Let's look at the deck lists. So Shota brought a deck that no one was playing until that point. It was like a Teamer. Well, everyone like Teamer was the most played deck at the tournament. I'm not sure if that's the case at the tournament, but like before the tournament, it was the most popular deck. But it was a Delver deck. But Shota brought his own deck that no one was playing using 4 Ether Vials, and it was basically just like a machine, right? It was a mid range controlling kind of a deck with like bunch of Ds. Um, but in the late game, it had the loops between like Eternal Witness, Cryptic Command, and stuff like that. And Vial just like gave you infinite mana. It basically worked as a Soul Ring. We usually see Vial in like White Weenie decks or Merfolk decks, but this deck was different. Like, it seems that it wouldn't be that great in this deck because it doesn't actually play that many creatures, but you also have like bunch of card draw, which can draw you into creatures, and you just use Vial as like a Soul Ring basically. And in the late game, you can just like Eternal Witness, put Eternal Witness into play with Vial, bounce it with command, and just kind of go infinite. So it just has this inevitable. I can't say that word in English. What I'm trying to say is that it can really lose the late game because in the late game it just has this engine going on, and the deck was just great because like it had a good both mid range matchups and aggro matchups. So it was just a really hard deck to beat. Uh, but he was playing against Yuya, which was who was playing Chant, and Chant maybe not for game one because it has only two TOTCs. It brings third one after board, but basically it does play discard, so Chant can like take care of the engine parts, and like basically the way Chant wins is that it just like takes the witness or snapcaster or cryptic command and then quickly kills them with like blood rate and or Tarmogoyf. Um, Also, like it just plays a bunch of removal spells and discard spells, so sometimes the teamer deck just draws a bunch of vials, and you can get rid of the cards that actually matter, and they kind of flood out or something. But the way the matchup plays out is very very interesting. It's like two mid range decks battling against each other, and yeah. I was watching the games. If you haven't seen the match, you should definitely watch it. It's very interesting, but there is like one specific game that I want to talk about today. I'm pretty sure that Shota should have won it, but he didn't. I'm gonna talk about it later. The other games kind of like they're interesting. There are a lot of decision points that were probably really hard and stuff, but overall, basically, one player executed their plan, and the games were kind of lopsided, I think. But the one game stand out. I haven't noticed the mistake when I was watching it, like 6 years ago or whatever, or 8 years ago now. Well, the time flies. But when I was watching yesterday, I was like, holy crap, like this is insane. Shota should have won, right? Like when I watched the match during that time, I was kind of sad that Shota brought this insane deck that he just smashed the tournament with. I think he was like 13-1 or something, and then he lost in the finals to Yuya. But when I was watching it yesterday, I was like, oh, he should have won. He made a mistake. At least I think that he did. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just wanted to talk about it. Also, like people are complaining about like Om not being everywhere now, and maybe you don't like Magic as much. So it's like nice to get reminded how awesome Magic can be. So let's watch the game. I think it's game 3. All right. So both players keep their hands. Shota has like an insane hand. He has like turn one while witness, snapcaster, bolt. Like he just has everything. And Yuya doesn't have turn one discard, so he's already on the back foot. He has a decision point here which land to play. Because if he plays the red black land, he can actually play Kitchen Finks on turn 3. Uh, and he but he only has Raging Ravine, so if he plays that, he can play Goif. But he might not want to play Goif into Lightning Bolt anyway. And with that being the case, playing the top land is probably just better. Like even if he could play Goif into Kitchen Things, he might opt not to do that. And the fact that he can't even play Kitchen Things the next turn makes it a pretty clear play, I think. But it's finals of World, so obviously he's taking his time. But in the end, I think he ends up playing the top land. Let's see, yeah. Yeah, so looking at Shota's hand, he has, I think he has two lands. Now he has Threats, Huntmaster, Bull, Snapcaster, Witness, and Goif. So his hand is basically perfect. I'm not sure how the players sideboard it. Let's look at the sideboards. So for Yuya, he probably brought in. I'm not sure about Butterskull, but it's probably good enough because it's like a long mid-range matchup. It kind of sucks against like Cryptics and stuff. But Shota has Glenelendra and Handmaster in his board. So that's like a lot of 4-drops. So it's possible that he boarded some of the cryptic commands out. Even though it sounds weird because, you know, it's a mid-range kind of matchup and cryptic command is just a 2-for-1. But you don't want to have infinite 4-drops. He probably kept in like some number, I'm not sure. But like cards like Vapor Snack, Remand, and Mana Leak seem pretty bad in like a grindy type of a matchup. Also, like the counter spells are bad when the opponent can see them with like discard spells and play around them. So I think he boarded those out. Obviously not sure. Threats are great. We already saw it and showed us hand. As for Yuya, he definitely brought in Totsis because he knows about the great 4-drops, and just like overall a 1-mana spell that can disrupt your opponent playing Violas seems great. Then I'm not sure about these like Grudges and Seal of Primordium. Also, it's possible, like, I don't think he did that, but it's possible to show the shaved like one Viola or something because it's a very grindy matchup, and if you draw like a bunch of them and then discard your action cards, you can get kind of screwed. That being said, it's kind of a part of his engine, so I don't think he did that, but it's possible, and if he did, it makes like these cards a lot worse, so I'm not sure if he brought them in. He definitely brought in Nihil Spellbomb to disrupt the Eternal Witness and Snapcaster shenanigans, and Olivia, which is very important for this game. So let's see. So on turn 3, it's obvious that he's gonna play things that, but he can't do it like immediately because then, you know, he kind of gives away that he doesn't have other plays. He plays things. Shota is thinking about bolting it, so I think it's actually kind of interesting. He decides to do that, which like I think it makes sense to kill it, especially with Snapcaster and Witness in his hand. But I don't really understand why would you kill it immediately? You're not using your mana on the next turn most likely anyway. And if that's the case, you're just taking 2 damage for no reason. It's possible that he could have drawn a card which like he would use the mana for, and then it gets kind of awkward. But it seems kind of sketchy to me. I'm not sure. So Yuya is flooding. His hand is like Goif, Olivia, and bunch of lands, and he's looking at like look at Shota's hand. It's like 5 spells with Viola in play. Like when I was watching, I was like, "There's no way that he's gonna lose, right? Like how is he gonna lose?" So let's see how it plays out. Shota is thinking about putting Goif into play, or maybe Snapcastering. Like putting Goif into play means that Yuya can lightning bolt it, but Shota might not care about it because he has Handmaster in his hand. So you know, it's fine to. Like Handmaster is a powerful card anyway, so even if he kills the Goif, at least he can kill the Handmaster, and if he doesn't have the bolt, it's better to have it in play. So I think that's fine. And this is the key moment. This is the key moment of the entire game. This is the moment that decided the entire Worlds. So you guys looking at his options. His hand is he can either just play Olivia and hope that Shota doesn't have anything, but he plays cryptic commands. He can have both. You know, it sucks. That playing Goif doesn't really accomplish anything. So the only option that he has, basically, is to just activate Ravine and either hope that Shota just doesn't have anything and at least you're like dealing damage or something. But more importantly, he's hoping to bait Lightning Bolt so that his Olivia can potentially survive. His other option is to like doing that is basically just like assuming that Shota makes a mistake. Like you're hoping that he's gonna make a mistake. because like Yuya is just in a horrible position, right? Like how is he gonna win this game? He has to win with Olivia. There is no. I mean, I guess Shota can be flooded. Yuya doesn't necessarily know that, but in most games he's just screwed. So he needs Olivia to win. Um, Maybe it's better to not activate the Ravine and then like on 6 mana just like play Olivia with 2 mana up so it can get bolted. But that doesn't seem very good. So he's just going for the Ravine. And now like Shota has like bunch of options now, right? So he can either Eternal Witness, uh, bring back Bolt and kill it. He can Snapcaster and kill it, or he can just take 4. I think that what he did, which is Snapcastering the Bolt, is like the best play in most scenarios. It would definitely be the best play in game 1 because there is no Olivia. But there is Olivia, and like what he does is that he just basically loses. He just scoops the Olivia. Maybe he just didn't think about it. It's a one-off. It's not likely that he has it. But they know the deck list. He knows that he has it, and his hand is so good that I just don't see a reason to do that. It just seems like a huge mistake to me. Just imagine that he puts Eternal Witness in play, kills the Ravine, untaps, puts a fourth counter on the Wild, puts it into play, pass, kill Kitchen Things, and you still have Snapcaster match up. Like, how are you gonna lose from that position? Like, maybe I'm missing something. It's possible that you can have like also 5 spells in his hand, and just kind of outgrind you, and you lost your value from Eternal Witness. Like you don't really wanna bring back Lightning Bolt with your Eternal Witness in this matchup. It's not a great use of the card. Like you have more powerful. There are cards in your deck that are way more powerful to bring back. So like I understand why he doesn't want to do that. But Yuya kind of gave away that his hand isn't great. Like I think that if his hand was 5 spells or even 4 spells, there is no way that he would make this attack. Like maybe he wants to play around Cryptic Command or something, but it just doesn't seem very good. Like it just screams weakness, right? So in these kind of scenarios, you should just like think about how am I gonna lose the game, and like with hand this powerful, do you really want to straight up lose to like a one card that your opponent can easily have? Like that just seems super bad to me. But let's see what he does. So he fetches. It's not really important. I don't really understand why he is Yuya playing choke or something, or like I don't understand why he's gonna snapcast a bolt, right? Why did he search for an island? I don't get it, but it doesn't really matter. So he bolts it, and now because of the way Snapcaster works, the bolt is exiled. So actually doesn't have any removal spell right now. Also, interestingly, he didn't put a fourth counter on the Wild here. I'm not really sure about that. It's true that we know Yuya's hand, so we know that it would be great to just put a fourth counter on Wild, put in Huntmaster, uh, just let him play, kill his kitchen things, and be in a winning position. But Yuya obviously can have Lightning Bolt of his own, or like any other removal spell, and then you have Vile on 4, which isn't really that good. Like you would prefer to have it on 3 to like make the shenanigans with Witness, or just like use the Witness with Vile first and then put the Handmaster into play or something. Um, I'm not really sure. Like even if Yuya has removal spell, you still can just like next turn play Eternal Witness and put Headmonster into play again. That doesn't seem bad to me. Uh, I'm not sure about this. I think putting it on 4 was better, especially with the Glenor that he just threw, but obviously he didn't know that. But yeah, also interesting. Like from my point of view, he already made like 4 mistakes. So like I don't know. So he plays Glenor, and now it just like seems that he can lose, but it's actually the opposite because Yuya now has Olivia and Shoda doesn't have any answer for it. What ends up happening is that he just plays Olivia, Shoda puts a bunch of stuff into play, and then he just ends up losing to Olivia. It's not really that interesting from this point. I just wanted to show this, that like even the best players can make mistakes under pressure. And like one thing to learn from this video is that, you know, when you're in these like winning positions, you should really think about how are you gonna lose, and just like cut your opponent out. Like there are plays that just like they're right like 95% of the time, and you just, and the problem is that the players usually do them 100% of the times. But you should really take your time and think about, okay, like what card, even if it's like one off in their sideboard or whatever, can they have, and just try to play around that. Like I just had many games in my life that I lost just like, you know, for this exact reason. And you know, thought it was interesting to talk about it. This video wasn't very long. I just watched the game yesterday and wanted to talk about it, so hope you liked it. See you next time. I don't really, if you wanna finish watching this game, you can do it on your own. It's not really that interesting. You just basically kills all of his creatures with Olivia, and then he wins. So I think I will do more videos like this. So if you like it, like let me know. Maybe there is something I should be talking about more, or like, you know, any kind of feedback is appreciated. So yeah, see you next time.